Hi, this is Dawn, and I thought I would go ahead and tell you a little bit about how I came up with the zombie apocalypse and how it worked for the class that I taught. So I was teaching a quarter-long credit-bearing course in information literacy for a for-profit institution, and this course met at night once a week for 3 hours a week. And my students were mostly working older adults that were coming back into the job market either to keep their current jobs or getting a new career or just sort of for their own benefit after being at home with children for a number of years. A lot of my students were women, so these were mothers who had kids at home who were working full-time jobs during the day and were coming to my class in the evening. And as you can imagine, they found the course to be very boring and didn't really see the relevancy of the material outside of the walls of the college. So I had to find a way to inspire them to want to learn the material and to see how the things we were learning was actually applicable to their everyday lives. So I got tired of really boring sessions, and so did the students. And I love zombies a lot. They are probably one of my favorite things. In fact, if there was ever a zombie apocalypse, I think that I am more than ready to take them on. And I've thought about the zombie apocalypse a lot, actually, probably more than I should have, and so this theme was already swirling around in my mind. I had also finished reading a book by Carrie Ryan titled The Forest of Hands and Teeth, and this really inspired me to see this zombie apocalypse come to fruition. Plus, I wanted to inspire my students to learn. But I needed a hook. I needed something that would draw their attention away from their computers long enough to pay attention to me. And I knew as well as they did that library instruction is often really horrible. And I know this because I sat through a fair share of my own in my undergraduate days. And I didn't want to be that librarian, ever. So I decided to merge my love of zombies with my love for teaching. And this is how the zombie apocalypse happened. Quickly and overnight, just like all zombie invasions do. My first task, revamping one of my sessions to try it out, to see what happened. I decided to redo my brainstorming a topic idea session, and I presented my class with "This thing happened. The zombie apocalypse is upon us." Selecting topics then became a matter of life and death. Students had to think about topics that could not only save their own lives, but the lives of all fellow survivors. How cool was that? Pretty cool considering the reaction I got from the class. So here's an example of some of the topics they could choose from. I broke it down into the different majors that this college offered. So we had medical, business, and leadership. And then I also threw some other interesting topics for those who really couldn't find anything on the sheet that interested them. So it could be anything from emergency management to city planning to civil unrest and how to do crowd control, to star navigation, so what do you do if you no longer have GPS? So there really was something for everyone. So for this class, I introduced them to what I called Z-Day and explained that the zombies had invaded the world and the President of the United States wanted to have some sort of documentation to ensure that the human race survived, and that my students were selected by the President in order to carry out this mission. So we had a discussion about topics and things that they were passionate about, and then talked about, in order to survive the research process, they had to be driven by passion in order to do the work, because passion led to better topic creation and led to better papers in general. So for this session, students took some time to really look at the topics on the list, to share with other classmates, to discuss who chose what and why, to start thinking about keywords that describe their topics. And I really wanted them to do the buddy system because research doesn't happen in a bubble, and I wanted them to be able to work together with a partner so that they had someone to bounce ideas off of. Students then left the class with a topic idea, with a list of keywords, and at the end of every session I did what was called the 1-minute write-up, where students evaluate what they learned that day and to ask any additional questions they may have of me. And hands down, the students loved this idea of the zombies and were ready and excited to do research. And after that, this is how the course played out, and every quarter after that was the same thing, and zombies were really popular. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.